This morning, Ukrainian President Zelensky says he's ready to sit down with Russian President Vladimir Putin after a remarkable display of diplomacy at the White House. Zelensky and 7 European leaders racing to Washington to sit down with Trump, determined to end the war in Ukraine. Zelensky arriving at the White House with a new approach. Dressed in a suit, the president clearly pleased. It was just 6 months ago the two leaders had that disastrous meeting in the Oval Office that turned into a shouting match. Zelensky, a wartime president, was criticized for his attire. This time around, both leaders intent on avoiding a repeat.
And thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you.
But Zelensky was adamant. To end the war in Ukraine, he needs security guarantees in case Russia invades again.
What security guarantees do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Everything. It depends on the big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
The president says the U.S. will help, but the burden will fall on European countries.
They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe. But we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
Trump and Zelensky then joining world leaders from France, Germany, Italy, and the UK. The president caught on a hot mic saying Putin wants a deal.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? As crazy as it sounds.
And telling reporters the goal is for lasting peace.
We're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long term.
But the group divided on how to get there. Trump had been pushing for a ceasefire until he met with Putin in Alaska. The Russian leader said no, and then Trump suddenly argued it was no longer necessary. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz disagreeing.
I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire. So let's work on that, and let's try to put pressure on Russia.
French President Emmanuel Macron, too.
To ask for a truce or a ceasefire, at least to stop the killings, as we discussed, is a necessity. And we all support this idea.
After meeting behind closed doors for hours, Trump calling Putin and then revealing he began the arrangements for a meeting at a location to be determined between President Putin and President Zelensky. And so the president says after those two leaders come face to face, then he would then join for a separate trilateral meeting, but still major questions on whether this will happen. We have not heard any firm commitments from Russia. And this morning, the French president says he has the greatest doubts that Vladimir Putin actually wants peace.